So we are live on Facebook. Yes.
Not just yet. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment.
It tells me that meeting is streaming live.
So now.
Yeah.
Now we are live. Good to start.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a beautiful session. I'm joining you and meeting you online after many, many days. So very, very much excited about today's show. We have two wonderful guests and a wonderful host with us as well. And I'm going to introduce all of them one by one. Stay tuned. And if you're seeing this video, please keep on sharing this video so that more people can get benefit of it. And without any much more waiting, my co-host, welcome Riddhi. Riddhi is a yoga and a meditation teacher, and she's my co-host for today. Welcome, Riddhi. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Great to be here, Darshana. Looking forward to this today.
Okay, and we have Dr. Manish Kumar ji, and we have Dr. Manish Gupta as well. So both Manish and both are doctors, and welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Darshana ji and Riddhi ji.
So Dr. Manish ji is he has completed MD and he's from Safdarjang, which is very good, and he's a child specialist and worked in NHS as well, and it's still working, and even working in specializes in children care and children's ICU, and worked in many hospitals, reputed hospitals in UK like St. George's Hospital, Royal Manchester Children's Hospital in Leeds, etc., etc. And above all, he is done many research publications in international journals related to children and children in ICU care. How interesting is that? Wonderful. And he's been practicing Vihangam Yoga for 20 years. How amazing is that? 20 years. Beautiful, beautiful. And probably, you know, I'm also, audience knows, but I'm also a meditation teacher, so would not be out of place to mention that. And I love meditating. So yeah, we are on the right page. Yes, you are associated with lots of research, and you've organized many free medical camps in various parts of India. So how interesting is that? We are going to cover all of that. So please stay tuned and please keep on sharing this video so more people can join. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Manish Gupta. Welcome again. And he's based in Belgium, so he's joining us from there. Thank you for joining us from there, taking out time for us. IIW is truly grateful to you. And he's an expert scientist and working in the field of research and development of vaccine. And amazing. Vaccine is one interesting topic, whether you like it or whether you dislike it. Lots of controversies are around vaccines. So we'll be coming that to in this talk. So people stay tuned. And also, you know, until recently, you were working with Pfizer vaccine. Wow. Most of us have taken Pfizer, right? So and involved in the development and manufacturing of the first few batches of COVID vaccines. So wonderful, wonderful. And lots more. But apart from that, you know, he promotes the ethos and culture of India across European countries. That's what we love. And that's what IIW is about. So thanks for collaborating with us. And spreading the wisdom of the Vedas and Gita and yoga and meditation. And he has been practicing and being with Vihangam Yoga for many years. And you have a guru as well who started all this. So more questions, and there's a whole biodata, but more I will cover as we go along, as we ask questions, because not possible to introduce the full bio of every person. But my first question to you is Manish Gupta ji, Dr. Saab, aap bataiye, when did you start being a part of Vihangam Yoga? Was there a life situation that you had to face and you joined yoga, or was it, you know, by like some people by default they have no choice and they have that interest, or how did you first start in brief?
Yeah, thank you. So basically, you know, I was initiated into Vihangam Yoga when I was in the year 1998, and that too in the state of Imphal, Manipur. So I come from that state. You all are hearing Manipur in the news recently a lot. So At that time, I was just of the age of 13. And, so in India, Swamiji of the president of Vihangam Yoga, he was there. He was teaching meditation. My father said, Manish, you must sit and you should learn. I said, okay. Among many people, I was also sitting in front of them. In front of Swamiji, I was learning. But then, I was just 13 years old. So you can imagine what is the state of mind when you're 13 years old. Your mind is agile. You're just looking around, Swamiji teaching meditation. But I never understood so that time, because my father said you have to do this, so I did it. That's all. I never understood what it is, why I'm doing, what is the advantage, benefit. No, nothing, because I was just very small. I was in class 8, in fact. But carry forward in 2007, when I shifted to Gujarat for my first job there, first time, not first time, but first time it really pinched me that from last 10 years, my father is saying that you must do meditation regularly. It will really bring a lot of advantages in your life in several ways. And so from 1998 to 2007, I could see the benefit of that. I used to have very super memory power compared to my other colleagues. Maybe it was because of meditation or something. That's why I used to be a very good student of the organic chemistry. In organic chemistry, otherwise people hate it, in high school. So, but when I went to Gujarat in 2007, in Bharuch, there I was really motivated to somehow something kicked me in, and I was like, okay, I must do meditation now regularly. My father has been insisting me, my parents has been insisting me that you must, practice meditation regularly. From there, I started regularly, little bit. I became a little bit regular in meditation practice, started reading scriptures and all. But again, over the time, I went to IIT Madras for my master's education, IIT Chennai. But there it was, for me, it was like IIT Madras is one of the, a topmost institute of India, where the life is very hectic in terms of, the amount of work you have to do. It is like IIM. In management, you have IIM. Similar in technical field, it's IIT. So with a lot of tremendous pressure, you are just focusing on perform. Even if you have some time to do meditation, it was like, once in a week, something like that. And but after IIT Madras, I came to Belgium for my PhD in chemical engineering from University of Leuven. And it was in collaboration with Nestle R&D in Switzerland. So when I came here in December 2011, the very first time, for first 1 month, I was very much excited of being in foreign country. Oh, my dream became true that I landed up in a foreign country, with those excitement. I'm sure everyone of us had that in the past. So being an Indian, it's very common for us to be very, very happy when you come to a foreign land. But when I came here, just after being for exactly 1 month, from December 1 to January 1st, I really went around. It was a Christmas environment. I saw around, but I really felt like the first time I'm feeling so much loneliness, akilapan, because there is no one to talk with. All the people are on holiday. And I was like, then when you're sitting alone, many questions came up in your mind. First question came to my mind was, why is that, why I being an Indian, why I'm coming to foreign land? Because we have read in the history that we had University of Nalanda. We had, India was called Sone Ki Chidiya, right? And many philosophers from the world, from Greece, from Egypt, from China, from Japan, from Vietnam, they used to come to Bihar in the Nalanda University. And I was like, why they used to come at that time, but now why are we going outside? So, all these questions really triggered me for the first time to learn our history.
I got it. So you were started at a very young age, you came abroad, and then you never looked back. Now I would like to ask Dr. Manish Kumarji, how did you start your, journey of yoga and meditation? How did you join Vihangam Yoga? Was it some incident that triggered you, or like some people have no choice and it's their life path, and as they go along, they realize that yes, this was my life path and that's why I did it. So Dr. Manish Kumar ji, aapse puchna chahungi.
So yeah, I have been my childhood has been in and around Delhi, but we belong from a very spiritual place, which is Mathura in UP, which is where we hail from. So as part of the tradition and culture there, and from the family, we got a lot of understanding about reading various scriptures, being from a very spiritual place. And then at the same time, I continued all my studies, and I ended up getting a very coveted place of MBBS in a very good medical college in Delhi. So that made me very happy. But at the same time, there were still some questions which keep on arising within that. Okay, we are doing a lot of things, but they don't actually make up the actual purpose of life. So there was some feeling within that probably there is even some higher goal of life.
Power.
Yeah. So that question always remained, and then there, whatever we do, there was still a sense of some uneasiness within. So there I can remember that it was my second year of MBBS, and then next to in the room in my hostel was my colleague who was from Ranchi, and he used to meditate. And then he told me that, okay, Naila, there's a program in Rohini in Delhi. So Guruji is coming there, and you should go there, and you should also learn meditation. So this is how it began. I went there. There was a large yagya there, and we were told how to meditate. And then I can say the scriptures have said that the meditation process is one of many lives. And then there's this meditation is not a usual thing. It's about eternal grace, which appears wherever we are in meditation. So when I first felt that grace, the feeling I can summarize was that probably the word God is a very common use word, but that when you get that grace, you feel that I've seen that God. There's nothing to be seen visually, but it's that grace. So
correct. Wonderfully explained. Wonderfully explained. I hope people are getting, those who have experienced it will agree, because no amount of words can tell you that what meditation is. You can go and describe in words, but I tell my potential students, I tell my audience that meditate and you will know what I'm talking about. But coming back to meditation, and we are doing well. Riddhi, over to you. Please take up a few questions, and then you can hand over to me whenever. But please be mindful of the time that we have. So
Sure.
we have to
Thank
cover a
you
lot
so
of
much,
things.
Darshana.
We have very interesting guests. So over to you, Riddhi.
Fantastic. So my question for both of you actually comes from the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita, I know, is one that you've studied time and time again, and you're very familiar with the contents. The Bhagavad Gita specifically breaks things down into 4 main paths of yoga, and that is Bhakti Yoga, which is about devotion, Raja Yoga, which is really about mind science and psychology, Raja Yoga, and then we've got Karma Yoga, and Karma Yoga is about the actions that one does. Dhyana Yoga, which is about knowledge. Where does Vihangam Yoga sit within these branches?
So Manish, should I answer this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So yeah,
Both of you, one by one.
Yeah. So I think we can contribute a bit both. This is in common parlays. We have heard of these concepts that Gita says about Karma Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Gyan Yoga.
Yes.
But what Sri Swamiji Sadafal Devji, he realized in meditation, and then what he has explained is that these are not different. These are related to the highest stage of meditation which a yogi acquires. So say what is Gyan Yoga? Gyan Yoga is acquiring the knowledge of the Supreme Being. So once you have the complete knowledge of the Supreme Being, which means that the soul is in union with the Supreme Being, which is the highest stage of Vihangam Yog, or the Yog which Lord Krishna told. Then, and then when, and then the Gita says about Bhakti Yog. So in that state of union, the bhakti which the soul does towards the Supreme Being is the state of Bhakti Yog. And then that state of Bhakti and Gyan Yog, which we have now said, what in that state, whatever karma or the action is done, it doesn't bear any fruit. So while in our normal understanding, whatever actions we are doing currently, they all lead to some fruit and further bondage in terms of lives to bear the fruit of that actions. While in the highest stage of yoga, when the soul is in union with the Supreme Being and is in a state of bhakti, the karma done in that state doesn't bear any fruit. So that is the state of karma yoga, or the highest, or the karma yoga. So what I mean to say here, that all the three terms, they are actually not different. They are actually related to a similar thing. Once you have complete Gyan Yoga, then the soul, when it requires ultimate bhakti, which is another element of that state, and then whatever action is done in that state doesn't bear any fruit. So it is the highest sort of state of Karma Yoga. So they all refer to one state, and they are actually not different as people may think it. So this is what Vihangam Yog is actually, is the word. Vihang means a bird. So just it's like the soul which frees from the moorings of Prakriti and moves towards the Supreme Being in complete union is Vihangam Yog, which is the same as the Yog which Lord Krishna told. And all these three words, they are actually not different. They represent the same state, while maybe people may still think that they are different, but they are not.
Amazing. So that is very well defined. So thank you so much for such a great definition there. Both of you are also doctors, and we actually see when people start to move away from yoga, they move away from meditation, they start to get these stress-related illnesses. They tend to get locked down in their mind and their body. We speak very much in higher senses there, higher words, where we're using things like prakriti and purusha. And we just want to break things down, bring it back to basics for a second. So I'm pretty sure within the NHS, you've seen that there are billions of pounds, plenty of people. I was doing some research on this earlier, and it said 75% of people actually come to the NHS for something that is a mental health related illness, or it's an illness caused by stress related work. Especially nowadays, people can get very overwhelmed quite easily. And being a yoga meditation teacher myself, I always think that sometimes we just need to ground and center and come back to basics. How can Vihangam Yoga actually help us to achieve this?
So yeah, and that's a very good question. And actually, I even have a presentation on it, because
Right.
While there has been, am I able to share my screen here? I may show you some.
Go ahead, please.
Sure. Is my screen visible?
So we can see that you are sharing the screen. It says, would you like to share the device? Yep.
Is it seen?
We can now see the Vihangam Yoga page. Case study number 2 on heart attack and the
So this is how, like, this is a presentation I have. So as you told about the brain and the stress and anxiety, so like human brain as you can see, it's a brilliant. It is said that only 1% of our capacity of the human brain is actually utilized by us, and it's the greatest supercomputer. We, as medical science knows, there are numerous synaptic connections. So, but if you can see that while this brain has enormous capacity, it is not actually sometimes reflected in our activities, because the weakness, it is difficult to control. It has poor focusing ability and is very prone to stress. And stress is like a modern day cancer, because it affects all the body systems. So it will take a lot of time. I don't want to take all the time, but it can lead to fear, anxiety, heart pounding, palpitations. It can lead to high blood pressures. It can lead to tremors. It can affect our sleep. It can have endocrine problems, immunity problems, and then it can lead to increased weight gain. And so stress has effect. I can actually go on a lot of detail as well, but it can affect all these body systems. It can increase risk of type 2 diabetes. And so there is a real need to reduce this stress. So there have been numerous techniques which have been advocated in terms of physical activity, bodily sensation, breathing techniques, thought flow, which are known to calm you. But where does Vihangam Yog stand in this all this? So there was a research done. There have been actually numerous of them. I would like to at least focus on couple at least. So there was this research done in the Central Institute of Psychiatry in Ranchi, where there was a 192 EEG electrode put in on a practitioner of Vihangam Yog. So when you take these EEG, which is like waves, which gives about waves emanating from your brain in various states. So I would like to tell you that when we have our eyes open and we are focusing on something, it leads to there's something known as beta waves arise from our brain. So these are various mappings of how when you take a trace, they look like. So beta waves, which show that your mind is active and you're focusing intensely on something. And then they put these electrodes on a medical practitioner of Vihangam Yog. And then they saw that even while he was actively engaging on some task with all the attention, the brains which were emanating from the brain were of alpha waves. Alpha waves usually occur in a person when he is very relaxed with his eyes closed. So what that meant, that the state of a practitioner of Vihangam Yog, who had been practicing regularly, was while he was intensely focusing on a task, was of a person who's actually having a relaxed mind and with his eyes closed. So this is in medical terms we are calling as restful alertness. That with Vihangam Yog meditation, you can be alert, active, focusing on tasks, but your state of mind will be restful, which is really brilliant. So this was a path-breaking research, and these are all sort of mappings which came out from that research and how the brain states were.
Amazing. It basically moves through it from alpha to beta into delta. So we can see the very focused and concentrated mind that happens during meditation. And it's all about practically just being alert and being aware of the thoughts that are coming in, but not being attached to them. So we're not adding additional meanings to them. Whereas when we actually move into a delta state, delta is a much more relaxed stage where the subconscious mind starts to take over. So I think this is a fascinating presentation, and thank you so much for actually showing us how the thoughts and the body work together and how the negative thoughts can actually affect us during meditation. I know that you're also going to be doing a couple of events in London as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Maybe if you can stop sharing the screen, and that would be brilliant. And Dr. Manish Gupta ji, you also please join in the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, please, Dr. Manish Gupta ji can give us more information, please. Yeah.
I think you might be on mute there. You might need to unmute.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So basically, the picture that we see here, Sadguru Swatantra Dev Ji Maharaj, he's going to come here, as well as Sant Namdev Ji. So basically, Sant Namdev Ji share the wisdom of Swarveda in English, and hence, therefore, he is here. So basically, we are going to have 3 main events on basically,
if you don't mind me interrupting, what is Swarveda? If you can just explain a bit.
I'll come to that.
For me and for our audience as well, that would be great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, so the event name will be Acceptance Through Diversity. Why diversity? Because, you know, in today's world, we all are seeing so much, you know, enmity, conflict. The society is breaking down. Why? On the fault line of diversity. So diversity of the nature will always remain forever. This is how the nature is. But we all have to learn how do we accept each other in spite of being in diverse situation. So that's what Swamiji is saying, that, you know, from yoga to yoga, because today we all are practicing yoga, but are we practicing yoga? The yoga that Sri Krishna Bhagavan has mentioned in Gita, the yoga that Shankar Bhagavan has done at Kailash Parvat, are we practicing yoga? This is a question mark, you know, he's putting up. So basically, we'll have 3 events. The first event is at Wascroft Estate. This is in Park Royal in London, central London, I think, near Wembley, on 5th of August from 5 to 8 p.m. The second event is on 6th of August on Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. And it is in the auditorium of Patidar Samaj National Association UK Society in Tooting Broadway. And the third event is at again Central London in the Bhavan from 6:30 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. on 9th of August. So these are the 3 main events going to happen in the next week. Yeah. And, you know, these are the links here, you know, how do you register and all. So if you are really interested into this, you know, people can either go through this, through this QR code, or you can just put up in the chat, in the chat of this presentation, and then we can reach out to you. And also you can see the phone numbers of the people here, and also you can see the email address, vyogauk@gmail.com, vyogauk@gmail.com, and phone numbers are mentioned here. So you can reach out to us by that means. And yes, coming to the point, what Swarveda is, Darshana ji. So basically, I'll come straight to this picture. So he is Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, who has done meditation for 17 years. When I say 17 years, I really mean it. Okay. Just like, you know, we hear in from Sri Krishna serial or from Shiv Puran serial, from our TVs, when we are in 90s or 80s, that, you know, Rishi Muni are doing tapasya. So Sadguru Dev has done similar tapasya in from the age of from the year 1901 to 1918 in Balia, Uttar Pradesh, and he was born in 1888, and he left his body in 1954. So after performing tapasya from when he was of the age of 11 until the age of 28, after performing tapasya, whatever knowledge he gained in his atma, in his soul, from Parmanu to Paramatma, whatever experience you talk about, you know, you talk about any topic of spirituality, what is Maya, what is Sukh, what is Dukh, what is Anand, what is Paramatma, who is Devi, who is Devta, who is Bhagwan, you know, how did you come into this mother womb? How will you leave this human body? What happens to the soul when it leaves the human body after the death? How many types of sarira are there? Suksham sarir, sthul sarir, you know, Mahakaran sarir, Karan sarir. How this universe was created? What is the force behind this universe? And not only that, he experienced all those things, and he also said there is a procedure, there is a technique to understand, to experience each of the thing that I just described. So whatever experience he gained, he wrote in the form of he wrote that in a book called Sarveda in the form of 4 to 5,000 couplets in the form of Hindi Doha. So that's why Swamiji writes here that Poon Roop mein janata Brahma Chakra Vistar Brahma Vidya Guru Tattva hai Sadguru Kripa Apar. He says Brahma Vidya is a very secret and divine knowledge. It is not like what he's trying to say. It is not just reading Gita or Upanishad and we learn Brahma Vidya. No, Brahma Vidya is a very secretive technique. That's why Lord Sri Krishna write in the chapter 18, and he not only in chapter 18, in various other chapter also, and he's telling to Krishna that to Arjuna that Arjun, jo main aapko vidya de raha hu, यह विद्या बड़ा ही गूढ़ है, बड़ा ही गोपनीय है, बड़ा ही रहस्य है. So when Sri Krishna is saying like this to Arjuna, we have to wonder why he is saying that Brahma Vidya is very good, very rahasya, very secretive. Because whatever is written in Gita is already available in Veda, is already available in Upanishad before Sri Krishna, when Sri Krishna Bhagavan took birth 5,000 years ago. All those knowledge are there. Then why Sri Krishna is saying that whatever knowledge I have imparted you is very good, is very rahasya? The reason is that in theory, we have the knowledge. In theory, all the information about spirituality, all the information about Bhakti Yoga, all the theoretical knowledge about Karma Yoga is there. But what is the practical mechanism? What is the practical technique? What is the practical meditation that you apply in your life through which you will be able to apply the concept of Karma Yoga, or you will be able to practice Bhakti Yoga, or you'll be able to practice Dhyana Yoga in your life. So that practical technique is mentioned in Gita, but in a very subtle manner. And that part is not written there. So the same meditation technique Sadguru Sadafal Maharaj had done for 17 years. And that's why he said that Brahma Vidya Guru Tattva hai Sadguru Kripa Apar. Now, what is Swarveda? So all the experience Swamiji has gained, he wrote it in the form of, in this Swarveda in 5,000 couplet. And to just give you a glimpse of, to give you a glimpse of what Swarveda is, for example, here he is talking about what is Grihasthant. He's explaining what is Grihasthant. Lord Sri Krishna has also explained what is Grihasthant in just maybe 2 or 3 sloka. But here Swamiji explaining what is Grihasthant in like 10, 15, 20 dohas. So basically, each concept of Gita, what Lord Sri Krishna has explained in just 1 sloka, Swamiji is describing based on his experience in like multiple dohas, so that we all can understand the concept as it is without any adulteration. And not only that, you can see that in this, for example, he has written the sloka, doha, as well as he also did the translation. Why translation? Because in today's world, I'll give you a very simple example. Imagine that, I have written a thesis, PhD thesis, and that is written in English. If I give you that thesis and ask you to, describe me what I have done exactly, perhaps just on the basis of language, you'll be able to explain me what thesis is, right? But you will not be able to exactly tell me what I have done exactly. Similarly, imagine that you have made a very beautiful painting, and with some intention behind it. But the reason of that painting, why did you make? You did not write it at the bottom. Now you ask 10 people, hey, can you explain me why did you? What is the theme behind this painting? How do you interpret this? So if there are 10 visitors are going to interpret the same painting in 10 different ways, right? If the painter had written the intention behind, or the theme, describe the theme behind what he painted, perhaps this room for various interpretation wouldn't be there. So similarly, and this is the problem what Swamiji was saying, that that all the scriptures that we have, Gita, Veda, Upanishad, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ramcharitmanas, even Guru Granth Sahib, all the couplets, all the slokas, all the mantras are written by Rishi Maharishi after meditating for many, many years. Some did meditation for 10 years, some 20 years, some 1,000 years, some 100 years. And after that 100 years of meditation, they came up with one mantra. But now when we are translating that mantra, we are just translating this mantra on the basis of language. So the essence of that mantra, when you translate, is missing if you have not yourself practiced the meditation. So that's why to counter that, Swamiji said, whatever doha I have written, its bhasya is also equally important. Otherwise, Swarveda will meet the same fate as that of Gita or Ramayana or Mahabharata, where mantra is there, shloka is there, doha is there, but its meaning is not there. That's why, you know, you would have heard in the news very recently that many people in Uttar Pradesh are burning Ramcharitmanas. Why? Because because Tulsidas Goswami has written some shloka, and people are misinterpreting it, and some people are using it that doha is a political tool to gain mileage. Had Tulsidas Goswami ji explained the shloka or the doha, why he has written, what is the meaning of that shloka, perhaps, you know, this room for interpretation among people wouldn't have been there. So considering this, Swamiji
yes,
has
but whenever somebody writes something, you know, at that point of time, they have that audience who understands it. And later on, if it is misinterpreted, you know, the intention is to educate people. But as the times change, the capacity, the interpretation of people, they change, and that's why these things happen. So my question is that what is actually Vihangam Yoga? You practice the yoga and meditation, and then you I'm not very clear, so it would be nice that you just practice yoga and meditation, or you do have to read these books. If you can just elaborate a bit, that would be good for the audience, so that they know that yes, your Gurudev is coming here, and you know, if you can go step by step, it would be wonderful. Rather than we cannot go very deep into one particular topic, because there's a whole wide audience here. Some of them are just coming into yoga, some of them are just coming into meditation, some of them are very, very expert, some of them are in middle level. They are thinking, yes, whether we should practice and go further, or we should just stop and we are good with whatever our life. So catering to all of the audience, give us step by step. That would be brilliant if you could do that.
So what Swamiji
थोड़ा सा हिंदी में भी बोलना कि हमारी mix audience है, तो हिंदी में भी थोड़ा बोलना. Thank you.
Riddhi Vyas ji, I'm coming in Hindi. I'll personally meet you, Riddhi Vyas ji, to explain you more in detail, because you asked a very beautiful question today. What is the difference between Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Dhyan Yoga, and how it is linked to Vihangam Yoga? I mean, that is a very interesting topic, but you know, given the range of audience we have, I don't think we can cover up here. But,
absolutely. I think everyone's perception of yoga is actually different. And the main thing that I'm really getting from this is how to take the theory and make it practical, and what are the benefits of making it practical.
So I'm going to switch in Hindi, okay? See, Swami ji ने जब तपस्या किया, स्वामी देखिए, हमारा जो इंडिया है, इंडिया इज अ लैंड ऑफ यू नो देवी एंड देवता. बड़े बड़े महर्षि इंडिया में आते हैं और आते ही रहेंगे, ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले कृष्ण भगवान 5000 वर्ष पहले आए, फिर महावीर भगवान आए, बुद्ध भगवान आए, आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य जी आए, कबीर साहब जी आए, मीराबाई आई, फिर जाके स्वामीनारायण भगवान आए, द्रोणाचार्य, दयानंद सरस्वती जी आए, फिर जाके तुलसीदास गोस्वामी जी आए. ऐसे समय समय पे इंडिया पे आते ही रहते हैं और आते ही रहेंगे. ये इंडिया का खास बात है. तो इसी क्रम में सदाफल जी जब महाराज का जन्म हुआ, तो उन्होंने जो तपस्या किया, तो उन्होंने कहा कि ब्रह्म विद्या का जो इंडिया का जो वेद है ना, वेद में देयर आर 14 विद्या, ठीक है, 14 विद्या. उस 14 विद्या का जो कोर एसेंस विद्या है, वो है ब्रह्म विद्या. और इस ब्रह्म विद्या को, लेकिन इस ब्रह्म विद्या का ज्ञान जो है, स्वामी जी ने कहा, वो ज्ञान लिखित में तो है, लेकिन नॉलेज लुप्त है, यानी कि प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज लुप्त है. यानी कि कहने का भाव है, अभी मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं. अभी हम सब ने सुना है कि आत्मा अजर है, अमर है, राइट? दर्शना जी, आपने सुने हैं आत्मा अजर अमर है. कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं कि भाई, जैसे आप शरीर पुराने कपड़े को छोड़ते हैं, नए कपड़े को पहनते हैं, उसी तरह आप पुराने शरीर को छोड़ते हो, नए शरीर को धारण करते हैं. लेकिन मैं आपको भी एक नए कपड़े का गिफ्ट कर दूं, तो आप खुशी खुशी पहन लेंगे. लेकिन बोलूं कि दर्शना जी, आपका शरीर पुराना हो गया, छोड़ दीजिए, नया शरीर को धारण कीजिए, आप करेंगे? नो, आई डोंट वांट टू डाई, राइट? उसी तरह कृष्ण भगवान ये भी कहते हैं कि भाई, चैप्टर 7 श्लोक नंबर 4 या 5 में कहते हैं कि जिस तरह हवा पूरा संसार में फैला हुआ है, उसी तरह परमात्मा भी हर जगह मौजूद है. लेकिन आप अपने दिल से पूछें, क्या हवा का अनुभव तो हो रहा है, हवा कैसे सांस लेना है, इस पॉइंट से वो भी हम ले रहे हैं, लेकिन क्या परमात्मा का हमें अनुभव हो रहा है? नहीं हो रहा है, राइट? फिर दूसरा, फिर कृष्ण भगवान ये भी गीता में कहते हैं,
stop sharing the screen, that way audience can connect with you. If you can stop sharing the screen.
Okay. ठीक है. तो कृष्ण भगवान फिर ये भी कहा है कि प्रकृति जो है परिवर्तनशील है, यानी प्रकृति में नथिंग इज परमानेंट. ये सब हम जानते हैं, लेकिन जब हमारे लाइफ में कुछ अनस्टेबिलिटी आता है, जिसको हमने पकड़ के रखा था, वो जब हमसे छूट जाता है, तो वी बिकम एक्सट्रीमली सैड, वी बिकम एक्सट्रीमली डिससैटिस्फाइड. तो ये क्यों हो रहा है? इसका सिंपल रीजन है कि थियरी में वी नो अ लॉट, बट अनुभव में नहीं है, राइट। अभी हमारा मन बहुत मचलता है। आप अपने बच्चे को, बेटा को कहेंगे बेटा मन लगा के पढ़ाई करो, या बेटा मन लगा के काम करो, और बेटा ने पूछ दिया कि मम्मी मन कहाँ पे है, मन क्या वस्तु है, मन को मैं कैसे रोकूं, मन को मैं कैसे कंट्रोल करूं, इसका क्वेश्चन हम क्या आंसर देंगे? शायद हमारे पास उसका उचित आंसर नहीं है। तो स्वामी जी ने कहा कि ब्रह्म जो गीता जो है वो योग का शास्त्र है, कृष्ण भगवान योगेश्वर है, राइट, कृष्ण भगवान योगेश्वर है, और गीता जो योग का शास्त्र है। तो स्वामी जी ने कहा कि स्वरवेद में स्वामी जी दोहा लिखते हैं कि आसन है तन शांति का, मन शांति अभ्यास, अनुभव आत्म शांति को जा ही छुटे अध्यास। यानी कि 3 प्रकार का आसन होता है। एक आसन होता है शरीर का आसन, जिसे करने से आपका शरीर तंदुरुस्त रहता है। ये शरीर तंदुरुस्त रखने के लिए बॉलीवुड हॉलीवुड सब लोग करते हैं, हम आप सब करते हैं, राइट, दौड़ते हैं, कूदते हैं। लेकिन आसन केवल आसन करने से तन का शांति हो जाए, उससे आपको खुशी मिलेगा, ऐसी बात नहीं है। दूसरा आसन आता है मन का, यानी कि कुछ ऐसा आसन भी करना है जो मन को आप कंट्रोल कर सके, मन को शुद्ध कर सके, मन को वश में कर सके, क्योंकि सारा प्रॉब्लम तो मन से ही है। और लेकिन स्वामी जी एक और स्टेप आगे जाते हैं, जिसका वर्णन कृष्ण भगवान में कहते हैं। एक आसन होता है योग आत्मा का भी आसन होता है। लेकिन इस आत्मा का आसन क्या है? जब आत्मा को परब्रह्म का साक्षात्कार हो जाता है, परब्रह्म का अनुभव हो जाता है, जब अर्जुन को विराट स्वरूप का दर्शन हो गया, अनुभव हो गया, परमात्मा का अनुभव हो गया, तब अर्जुन को एकदम समझे कि परमानेंट उस काल के लिए शांति मिल जाता है। तो आत्मा को जब अनुभव हो जाता है, तो उसलिए स्वामी जी कहते हैं आसन है तन शांति का, मन शांति अभ्यास, अनुभव आत्म शांति को जा ही छुटे अध्यास। जब आपको आत्मा का भी अनुभव हो जाता है, तब जाके आपका जो जन्म मरण का चक्र छूट जाता है। देखिए योग का 2 एस्पेक्ट है। आप कभी भी देखिए, कृष्ण भगवान भी योग किए, शंकर भगवान भी योग किए हिमालय पर्वत पे, हनुमान भगवान ने भी योग किए, हम जितने पार्वती माता को राम भगवान ने भी योग किए। लेकिन उन्होंने जो योग किया, स्ट्रेस कम करने के लिए नहीं किया। ये आज के प्रॉब्लम, आज के लाइफस्टाइल में जो हम कहते हैं योग करने से स्ट्रेस कम हो जाएगा, ये बेसिकली ये इसलिए हो रहा है कि हमारा जो लाइफ, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट लिविंग आवर लाइफ अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द प्रकृति। सुबह उठना चाहिए 5 बजे तो हम उठते हैं 8 बजे, रात को सोना चाहिए 10 बजे तो हम सोते हैं 2 बजे। तो हमने जो डेलिबरेट अपना लाइफ को जो उल्टा पुल्टा किए हैं, उसके कारण हमें स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, ठीक है। लेकिन तो उसलिए स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि योग को केवल स्ट्रेस से कम करने के लिए यूज करना, योग इज नॉट ए टूल टू डिक्रीज द स्ट्रेस। आप योग करोगे तो स्ट्रेस बाय डिफॉल्ट कम होगा। लेकिन योग का मुख्य उद्देश्य क्या है? योग का मुख्य उद्देश्य परमात्मा को प्राप्त करना। उसलिए मनुस्मृति में कहा गया है, मुंडकोपनिषद में कहा गया है कि याज्ञवल्क्य ऋषि ने कहा है कि आत्मा और परमात्मा का जो जोड़ होता है उसी को योग कहा जाता है। और जब आप बड़े ऑब्जेक्टिव को रीच करने का प्रयास करते हो, तो छोटा ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑटोमेटिकली टेकन केयर हो जाता है, राइट। तो वही तो स्वामी जी लिखते हैं स्वरवेद में कि योग योग सब कोई कहे, योग न जाना कोई, अर्धधार उरत चले योग कहावे सोए। कहने का भाव है कि योग योग आज पूरे वर्ल्ड में चर्चा हो रही है, ठीक है। 1924 में जब स्वामी स्वरवेद में लिखे कि आज योग का चर्चा पूरे वर्ल्ड में हो रहा है, लेकिन योग वास्तविक में है क्या, ये लोगों को जानकारी नहीं है। तो अगर जानकारी नहीं है इन द सेंस की जानकारी है, लेकिन उसको चेतना को रिवर्स कैसे करें, मन को कैसे किल कर दे, मन को कैसे दमन कर दे, मन से आप मन कैसे हो जाए, मन का विनाश कैसे कर दे, इसका जानकारी लैकिंग है। तो स्वामी जी ने कहा कि अर्धधार उरत चले योग कहावे सोए। कहने का भाव है कि आपकी आत्मा का निवास कहाँ है? हार्ट में है। कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं, ये सारे वेद पुराण उपनिषद भी कहता है कि हृदय में हमारा आत्मा है, और आत्मा का शक्ति जो है मन चोरी करती है। मैं आपको एक स्लाइड दिखाता हूं, इससे बहुत सारा कॉन्सेप्ट जो है लोगों का शायद क्लियर हो जाए। ये देखिए, ये स्लाइड, ये स्लाइड, हाँ ये देखिए, ये जो है ना, यहाँ पे देखिए, ये जो आत्मा है, आई एम राइटिंग ए सोल जस्ट टू मेक पीपल कंफर्टेबल, इट कैन बी सोल और आत्मा, व्हाटएवर हाउएवर यू डिस्क्राइब। तो मन, आत्मा का शक्ति मन चोरी करती है, मन का शक्ति इट गोज टू द सेंस ऑर्गन, एंड फ्रॉम सेंस ऑर्गन वी परसीव द वर्ल्ड, राइट। सो द फ्लो ऑफ द कॉन्शियसनेस राइट नाउ is from inside to outside, from atma towards outside. When you reverse this flow, that is what is called yoga. That is what is called, see, when you, so right now the flow of the consciousness is from soul to outside. When you reverse this flow, this is when yoga start happening. But the question is, how are you going to reverse the flow? How will you reverse the flow? ठीक है। तो इसी बात को, that's why Kabir Sahab ji, when he came, that's why when he came, he said, he gave a technique, I mean not technique, I mean it's a very common technique across all the scriptures, but he wrote in a very simple language in Doha. He said that, सुमिरन सुरती लगाई कर मुख से कछु ना बोल, बाहर का पट बंद कर भीतर का पट खोल। Basically what he's trying to say, कि close all your sense organ, and open your inner 10th door, and then yoga can happen. But this is just a theory. The question is, how will you do that? How are you going to reverse your consciousness? क्या करें? हम प्राणायाम करें, कि हम आसन करें, कि हम धारणा करें, कि हम ध्यान करें, कि हम समाधि करें? आप शुरुआत कहाँ से करेंगे? है ना, आज हम योग का प्रचार करते हैं, तो जैसे जो भी योगा टीचर है वो आसन प्राणायाम बहुत अच्छा से बताते हैं.
Sharing the screen because then the audience can't see very well. Yeah, thank you. Sorry to interrupt you again.
हाँ, तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि आज योग का प्रचार पूरे वर्ल्ड में है, दर्शना जी एंड रिद्धि व्यास जी, लेकिन योग के नाम पे हम लोग क्या मात्रा कर रहे हैं? योग के नाम पे केवल हम आसन प्राणायाम कर रहे हैं. देखा जाए तो प्राणायाम का बहुत तरीका है. आप सुदर्शन क्रिया करें. मैं भी क्या हूँ सुदर्शन क्रिया, आई फुली रिस्पेक्ट, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, उसने मुझे कराया था. हम सुदर्शन क्रिया करते हैं और तरह तरह का शीतली प्राणायाम करते हैं, अनुलोम विलोम करते हैं, कपाल भारती करते हैं. ये सब करने से आपका क्या होगा? आपका जो शरीर का जो कीटाणु है अंदर का वो साफ हो जाता है. लेकिन इससे करने से क्या होगा? लेकिन प्राणायाम के बाद क्या है? प्रत्याहार है, फिर धारणा है, फिर ध्यान है, फिर समाधि है. तो धारणा कैसे करें? धारणा मतलब क्या होता है? जो नॉर्थ इंडिया में, ईस्टर्न इंडिया में धारणा मतलब टू होल्ड. किसी भी चीज को होल्ड करना को धारणा कहा जाता है. ठीक है, तो धारणा जो इट्स कम फ्रॉम द वर्ड टू धारणा, तो पकड़ो. लेकिन धारणा में किसको पकड़ो? अगर मैं आपको पूछूं कि धारणा में धारणा कर रहा हूं, तो मैं पूछूं धारणा में आप क्या पकड़ रहे हो? आप गेस कर सकते हैं? अगर आप धारणा कर रहे हैं तो धारणा में आप क्या पकड़ रहे हैं? धारणा में हमें बेसिकली मन को पकड़ना होता है. तो मन को आप कैसे पकड़ेंगे? मैं आंख बंद कर अगर ऐसे बैठा हूं तो हजारों थॉट्स आ रहे हैं, तो धारणा तो नहीं हो रहा है. तो मन को पकड़ने का एक विशेष स्थान कहाँ है? कहाँ पे मन को रोके कि मन जो है आपका शांत हो जाए. तो वही धारणा की जाती है. जब धारणा करते 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 जब धारणा का पूरा स्टेज कंप्लीट हो जाता है, तब ध्यान चालू होता है. तो ध्यान क्या है? ध्यान देखिए, और स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि ध्यान परमात्मा का तब होता है जब परमात्मा का दर्शन हो जाए. मैं आपको इसे गीता के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर समझाऊं, तो कृष्ण भगवान ने जब अर्जुन को पूरा मतलब विराट स्वरूप का दर्शन दे दिया, दिखा दिया, तब जाके अर्जुन के मन के अंदर भाव आया कि हे कृष्ण भगवान, आई वांट टू बिकम योर भक्ता नाउ. आप गीता खोल के देखिए, चैप्टर 1 से चैप्टर 10 तक अर्जुन इज डूइंग तर्क वितर्क विद कृष्ण भगवान. आस्किंग वन क्वेश्चन, कृष्ण भगवान इज गिविंग आंसर, अनदर क्वेश्चन, अनदर आंसर. तो तर्क वितर्क चल रहा है. लेकिन जब चैप्टर 10 तक आते आते जब अर्जुन का मन थोड़ा शांत हुआ, तो बोला, हे कृष्ण भगवान, आप मुझे गुरु के रूप में, आप मुझे शिष्य के रूप में स्वीकारें. आप मेरे गुरु हैं और आप मुझे मैं आपका विराट स्वरूप का दर्शन करना चाहता हूं. मैं आपका जो दिव्य आत्मा है उसका दर्शन करना चाहता हूं. तो अर्जुन क्या कहते हैं? कृष्ण भगवान क्या कहते हैं? हे अर्जुन, आप मुझे नहीं देख पाओगे इस चर्म चक्षु से, मैं आपको अंदर अभी दिव्य दृष्टि प्रदान करता हूं, ऐसा कहते हैं. तो जब कृष्ण भगवान उनको दिव्य दृष्टि प्रदान कर देते हैं, तब जाके अर्जुन को उनका विराट स्वरूप का अनुभव आता है. तब उनको एकदम मतलब पहले उनका बहुत कूल, काम, बहुत प्लेजेंट अनुभव होता है. लेकिन वही अनुभव करते करते उनको ये भी अनुभव हो जाता है कि ये तो परमात्मा बड़ा ही वो है, शक्तिमान है, सर्वशक्तिमान. उनका रुद्र रूप भी देख लेता है, यानी कि बहुत विकराल रूप भी देख लेता है. जब वो देख लेता तो वो कहता है, नहीं प्लीज, मैं आपका शक्ति को अब सहन नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, आप इस शक्ति को छीन लीजिए, ऐसा करके कहते हैं. तो क्वेश्चन, और जब अर्जुन ने ये पूरा कृष्ण भगवान का दृश्य देख लिया, अनुभव कर लिया, उसके बाद मन में आया कि मैं आपका भक्त बनना चाहता हूँ. टिल देन वो भक्ति का बात नहीं किया था. तो यही बात रामचरितमानस ने भी कहा कि बिनु प्रतीति होय न प्रीति. यानी कि जब तक आपको परमात्मा का दर्शन नहीं हो जाए, तब तक आपको अनुभव नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, तो यही बात स्वामी जी स्वरूप में लिखते हैं कि बिनु दर्शन होय न भक्ति, कि जब तक आपका परमात्मा का दर्शन नहीं होगा, उसका ध्यान तो दूर, भक्ति कभी नहीं हो सकता. इमेजिन, जस्ट मैं एक सिंपल फ्रेंडली एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं. जब आपने पहली बार अपने हस्बैंड को देखा था, तो जब तक आपने उसको देखा नहीं था, तो आपका मन उनके पास जा रहा था क्या? नहीं जा रहा होगा. जब तक आपने नहीं देखा था, फोटो में भी नहीं देखा था, किसी में नहीं, तब आपका मन जा रहा था? नहीं जा रहा था. या सेम, या मैंने अपने वाइफ को जब तक मैंने नहीं देखा था, तो उसका मन मेरा उसके तरफ जाते नहीं था. लेकिन जब मैंने उसको देख लिया, मिल लिया, समझ लिया, तो मेरा मन बार बार वहां भाग रहा है. तो उसी तरह अर्जुन ने भी जब कृष्ण भगवान का वास्तविक रूप को देख लिया, समझ लिया, अनुभव कर लिया, तब जाके उसका मन जो है कृष्ण भगवान का ध्यान करने के लिए, भक्ति करने के लिए जिज्ञासा होता है. तो वही स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि विहंगम योग ब्रह्म विद्या में 5 स्टेज की साधना है. तो जब आप पंचम कोटि का साधना कर लेते हैं, तब जाकर आपको परमात्मा का साक्षात्कार होता है. साक्षात्कार यानी अनुभव होता है, और उसके बाद आपका ध्यान प्रारंभ होता है. और उसके बाद जो है, जब आप ध्यान करते 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 जब आप एक लीन हो जाते हैं, तब आपका समाधि होता है. तो बेसिकली इन एसेंस पूछा जाए कि विहंगम योग क्या है, ये साधना का टेक्निक है, जहां पे मन को रोकने की क्रिया बताई जाती है. और आपका दसम द्वार कैसे खुले उसका क्रिया बतलाई जाती है। हम ओमकार कहते हैं ना, हम कहते हैं ना कि लेट्स चैंट ओम बिकॉज ओम इज द वर्ड विच ओम इज द शब्द विच स्टार्टेड व्हेन द यूनिवर्स बिग बैंग हैपन। ऐसा बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि जब सृष्टि बना था,
प्राइमोर्डियल साउंड,
प्राइमोर्डियल। लेकिन ये ओम तो अभी मैं बैठ के ओम ओम चैंट कर रहा हूँ, मेरा 3 साल का बच्चा है वो भी ओम ओम मेरे साथ कॉपी करता है, तो देन व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? तो डिफरेंस ये है, तो स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि ओम जो है केवल वाणी से चैंटिंग नहीं करना है, ओम आपके सर के अंदर अभी भी हो रही है, लेकिन क्रिया क्या है, क्या करेंगे कि आपको ओम का अनुभव होगा। स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि ओम कैसे अनुभव करोगे? ओम आपके अंदर यहाँ पे पंच ब्रह्मांडी शब्द अभी भी घटित हो रही है, लेकिन कैसे अनुभव करेंगे, वो विधि क्या है? तो वो जो है विहंगम योग ब्रह्म विद्या का दूसरी भूमि का साधना है। ठीक है, जब तीसरी भूमि का साधना और दूसरी भूमि का साधना जब करते हैं, ओम का साक्षात्कार होता है और वहां पे आपका मन शुद्ध हो जाता है, मन क्लीन हो जाता है, मन में कोई गलत विचार नहीं आता है। अभी आप जितना भी प्रयास करें कि मन में नेगेटिव थॉट्स आ ही जाता है, काम क्रोध राग द्वेष ऐसा आ ही जाता है। तो सदगुरुदेव कहते हैं कि जब आप दूसरी भूमि का साधना करते हैं, और यही साधना उन्होंने क्या नाम है वाल्मीकि जी ने किया था, व्यास जी ने किया था। ठीक है, और अगर तो उसी तरह फिर स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि आगे तीसरी भूमि का साधना भी होता है। तीसरी भूमि का साधना में क्या होता है, आपकी जो कुंडली शक्ति है वो जागृत हो जाती है, आपका दसम द्वार खुल जाता है। और उसके बाद जब चौथी भूमि का साधना करते हैं तो आपका मन जो है एनिलिएट हो जाता है। देखिए, शांति एक शब्द है, दूसरा शब्द है अशांति। तो शांति क्या है, यू अंडरस्टैंड इट। अशांति क्या है, जहां शांति का अभाव हो उसे अशांति कहते हैं, राइट। उसी तरह एक शब्द है मन और एक है अमन। तो जहां जहां मन है वहां द्वंद्व है, और जहां मन का अभाव हो गया, अमन हो गया, तो आपको शांति होता है। तो आप अमन कैसे होंगे? हाउ विल आपका आप यानी कि आपके अंदर से माइंड का पूरा वही एसेंस ही खत्म हो जाए, वो कैसे होगा? तो वो स्वामी जी कहते हैं जब आप चौथी भूमि की साधना करते हैं तब आप अमन हो जाते हैं, और जब आप अमन हो जाते हैं तब आपकी शुद्ध आत्मा उस परमात्मा का भक्ति करता है, बीच में कोई मीडियम नहीं है। अभी क्या है, आत्मा और परमात्मा के बीच मन का लेयर है, इंद्रियों का लेयर है, बुद्धि का लेयर है, अहंकार का लेयर है। तो ये सारा चीज जो है सदगुरुदेव कहते हैं जब आप चौथी भूमि का साधना करते हैं तो लेयर खत्म हो जाता है, तब आपका और परमात्मा का साक्षात्कार होता है, और उसके बाद आपका भक्ति स्टार्ट होता है, और वहीं से भक्ति योगा प्रारंभ होता है। भक्ति योगा को लोगों ने ये सोचा है कि भाई हम हारमोनियम बजा लिया, डांस कर लिया, नो, वो भक्ति योगा नहीं, वो तो स्वामी जी कहते हैं वो शुभ कर्म है, दैट इज जस्ट ए शुभ कर्म। लेकिन कृष्ण भगवान गीता में बार बार शुभ अशुभ कर्म को खत्म करना है, शुभ अशुभ कर्म जो फ्रेज है बहुत बार यूज हुआ। आप गूगल सर्च करना, मतलब कंट्रोल F करके करना, शुभ अशुभ कर्म का जो शब्द है बहुत बार प्रयोग हुआ है। कृष्ण भगवान ये कह रहे हैं कि शुभ अशुभ कर्म को आपको खत्म करना है, यानी कि शुभ कर्म भी बंधन का कारण है, अशुभ कर्म भी बंधन का कारण है, दोनों को खत्म करना
थोड़ा
है।
मनीष, डॉक्टर मनीष कुमार जी से भी थोड़ा पूछना चाहूंगी, बट आपने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से स्टेप बाय स्टेप समझाया, थैंक यू सो मच। हमारी ऑडियंस भी अभी काफी क्लियर होगी। और आपको बता दूं कि रिद्धि भी योगा टीचर है, मैं भी योगा टीचर हूँ, और हम लोग दोनों डॉक्टर्स, मनीष जो ज्वाइन है वो भी योगा टीचर है, काफी सालों से साधना कर रहे हैं। बट बोलने में बहुत डिफिकल्ट लगता है, ऐसे बोलते पर बाद में सुनने पर जो एकदम हुआ ऑन द बेसिक लेवल, उनको लगता है ओ माय गॉड इतना सारा करना है, पर ऐसे टेंशन मत लेना, इट इज वेरी इजी और बहुत ही स्मूथली होता है। जितना हम बोलते हैं ना तो उतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, और जब भी गुरु की कृपा होती है तो जैसे कि एकदम फ्लो हो जाता है, स्मूथली होता है। यही होता है गुरु का काम, और इसीलिए तो गुरु आते हैं। जैसे कृष्ण भी थे, अर्जुन के गुरु थे, पहले अर्जुन के मित्र थे, अर्जुन के गुरु थे। और अबाउट भक्ति योगा, यस इट इज, ऐसा नहीं है कि भक्ति योगा बाद में आती है, भक्ति तो हो जाती है ना, जैसे प्यार हो जाता है। हम भगवान की पूजा करते, हमने भगवान को देखा नहीं है। जैसे मैं बचपन से शिव जी की पूजा करती हूँ, पर मैंने कभी शिव जी को देखा नहीं है। सो इट इज लाइक यू गो फ्रॉम फॉर्म टू फॉर्मलेस। जैसे हमने शिवलिंग की पूजा की, फॉर्म टू फॉर्मलेस हम जाते हैं। और जो इतना ऐसे मन में कॉम्प्लिकेशंस नहीं लाना है, इट इज क्वाइट इजी, इट इज क्वाइट स्मूथ। बट अभी डॉक्टर मनीष कुमार जी से वी हैव टू फिनिश नाउ बिकॉज वी आर ऑलमोस्ट हिटिंग 1 आवर। सो डॉक्टर मनीष कुमार जी, आपसे जाने से पहले पूछना चाहूंगी कि आपने काफी सारा रिसर्च किया है इसमें, तो हाउ डिड इट रिसर्च, हाउ डिड it is not easy to get permission to do such research, and lots of resources you need. तो आपने क्या क्या कठिनाई फेस की, और उसके बारे में थोड़ी जर्नी के बारे में आप बताइए, बिकॉज मेडिटेशन बहुत लोगों ने रिसर्च किया है दैट मेडिटेशन changes the brain, the wave cells, the vibrations, and lots of research going on. You can do those who are, कोई लोग एकदम हार्ट लेवल पे जीते, उनके लिए बस भक्ति से स्मूथली आ जाते. Some people are at a very, intellect level. तो रिसर्च बहुत जरूरी है फॉर बोथ, फ्यूचर में भी काम आता है. तो डॉक्टर मनीष जी आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, रिसर्च के बारे में थोड़ा बताइए. आई नो यू हैव ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड द वीडियो बिफोर वी फिनिश. वी हैव टू वाइंड अप इन लाइक 5 minutes, but if you can share your challenges and how people accepted it.
Yeah. So because in my medical practice, and as you have rightly mentioned as well, stress actually remains a real problem for the society. I suppose as professionals, everyone is stressed. Students are stressed with education, and it does come in large. It says that actually 10% of the population may be in depression at one point of time as well. So that is a lot of burden on the society, how to bring well-being and wellness in the society. So that drove us, a team of doctors, that how we can help society, and this is where it stemmed from. So we have to get all the permissions, and then setting up all the equipment, and then we had to find the right practitioners. So we chose from Vihangam Yog practitioners who have been meditating, had good experience in meditation for a few years, so that we can differentiate them from people who are not meditating, so that we have the right controls to show the results. And as I told you, the results have been amazing. If we meditate regularly, Vihangam Yog meditation, first stage works at the state of mind. So a mind which is wandering everywhere, it tells you where it has to be focused. And with the grace of Guru, it steadies there, which brings a lot of focus in your work. It gives you insight about what is right and what is wrong, because this is one thing, especially youth struggle a lot, because we have a lot of choices in the world, but what to take and how much to take, and what is right and what is wrong, is really a decision which I've seen youth especially struggle. And I've seen in children's intensive care, the most unfortunate thing for a doctor is when some of these adolescents coming up with hanging and all, and they sometimes don't even survive. So that's
suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, so that's the worst thing which the society and the doctor also has to face. So the youth needs a direction and a steady mind with the right knowledge of what to take and how much to take from the world, and what is right and wrong, will go a long way in improving the current state of the society. So this has, thank you.
And just before we actually wrap up, I just wanted to reflect back on what Dr. Maneesh ji said as well. He mentioned a lot of information there in Hindi. And for our English-speaking audience, I just want to go through a couple of steps, a couple of takeaways that I got from that as well. So step number 1 was to actually have a sadhana, having a morning practice, which then sets up your mind for the right kind of atmosphere, for you to be able to eliminate those stresses, eliminate those thoughts, and think clearly, with concentration, with focus. So that involves having a limit on your timings, ensuring that you don't get to bed too late and that you don't wake up too late, but ensuring that everything is in its own time. And step number 2 there was actually the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. And with Vihangam Yoga, we actually spoke about pratyahar, which is the withdrawal of your senses, and how your withdrawal of senses can then help you in a positive way leading up to meditation, dharana dhyana. But also, what I've actually noticed, being a yoga teacher myself, is that a lot of the times we miss the basics. We miss the yamas, we miss the niyamas. And these are basically the rules before you even start with pratyahara and yoga asanas itself. So being able to be conducive of that state of mind first. The state of mind is really important, as Dr. Manish Kumar has actually reflected on. A lot of this is because we aren't in the right frame of mind. We don't therefore have control over our senses. We don't have control over our bodies, and it can lead to all kinds of different illnesses. So by actually focusing therefore on yoga and meditation, we can be more conducive of that. And also Om being A is for the physical, for your body, U is for your emotions, and M is for your mindset, the mental state. So by going through these states of consciousness, deep consciousness and deep sleep, we're able to basically reflect on Om and bring it into a practical experience. So a lot of this today is actually about how do we take the theory that we have and make it more practical. And before we wrap up, I'd just like to ask you both, thank you so much for all the information that you have shared with us. Do you have any final thoughts to leave our audience with?
So I would just like to say the best thing is to be in the moment and take the life as a grace of the Supreme Being. And we should also try to, we get a lot from society, and then if we can give them in return. So this is how our nature should be, to be happy and blissful for ourselves and for the others. And also we get a lot from society, and if we return, that makes our lives meaningful. Thank you.
Yes, and to live in the present moment, you can live it through the breath, because breath is always in the present moment.
Yes.
And while Riddhi has mentioned about yamas and niyamas, this is such a deep topic, like we dig one and we can go deeper and deeper. But while she has mentioned it, I would like to say that, you can know about the yamas and niyamas in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. If you do Google search, there's a whole theory about what are the yamas and niyamas. We can't go into it at the moment, but any last words from you, Dr. Manish ji, before we wrap up for today?
I mean, no, first, I mean, I just want to thank all of you, all the interviewers and IIW for allowing us to providing us this opportunity to present ourselves and to explain a little bit what Vihangam Yoga is. But, I mean, you can feel it, right? We all can feel it. This topic is such a wide thing. We need, perhaps even if we do a meeting for like next, 1 month, it will not get completed. So all I want to say is, like, whoever is the audience, try to come and join the event, and come and join the event.
Maybe you can share the screen again with the event dates. It's always nice to do this at the end, so that it's fresh in the memory before we wrap up.
So Riddhi Vyas, you can explain.
5th of August, mark your diary. 6th of August and 9th of August. So 5th of August is a Saturday, 6th of August is a Sunday. So no excuses there. And 9th August is a Wednesday, but still you can make it because it's in the evening, 6:30 to 8:20. The venue details are there. And for more information, you can contact any of us at IIW. If you stop sharing the screen, that would be great. And lovely audience, thank you for joining us today. And if you can stop sharing the screen, I would like to bring Riddhi on the spotlight, please. Riddhi on spotlight, if you can. Last words, Riddhi, before we wrap up for today. Thank you, audience, for being with us. And thank you, Riddhi, for being my co-host today. It was wonderful to have you. Thank you, Dr. Manish, both Manish ji. Riddhi, any last words before we close today in 1 minute?
Yes, thank you so much, Darshana ji, for being such a great co-host. And also thank you, Manish ji, both of you, for being excellent medics, but also to be able to really explain the concepts of the theory behind it. And final, if I could, encouragement for all of you that are watching, that are in the UK, to actually just take a little bit of time out for yourself. It's going to be on a Saturday and a Sunday. It's just a few hours where you can then go and get a glimpse of what this means in practical sense. I feel like we covered a lot of information. We covered a lot of theory today, and it's just to be able to give you a little bit more insight into what Vihangam Yoga is and why this is such a special occasion. So if you can, you've got the details. We will share them again on Facebook as well, so that you've got all of the details there. Please do go down and actually see what this is for yourself, actually have a practical experience of it. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you, Riddhi. Wonderful. Thanks, Riddhi. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And we meet again very soon. Stay tuned. Keep on sharing this video. I'm very very grateful to all of you for joining Inspiring Indian Women की तरफ से आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और कृपया बने रहिए और भी shows आ रहे हैं. We are going to get wonderful guests and see you soon again. This is Darshana Shah signing out. Catch up with you again soon. Bye bye.
Riddhi Vyas signing out.